Hi, my name is Dr. Denise, and this is this week's A Dose from Dr. Denise, where I hope to teach, show, and inspire you how to release your God-given health and life potential. Recording this on my back deck in Texas, where it is hot, and I'm sweating. So I wanted to share with you something that I think is profound. A mentor of mine taught me a very simple phrase that I think is very important to really diffuse a situation that can escalate to something you don't want it to. You know, we've all been in a situation, you know, with a spouse or a friend, parent, brother, sister, where we have a disagreement. And let's say that disagreement is something over something very petty. We've all been there. It happens to us on a daily basis. Someone says, you know, that this event happened last January, and in your mind you're like, no, it happened last March. And you might get in a disagreement over something that has virtually no consequence. And so my mentor has taught me this 3-word expression that is brilliant, and I'm going to tell you why it's brilliant. The expression is, you're probably right. You're probably right. It's brilliant. It's brilliant because it does 3 things. Number 1, whatever you're in disagreement about, when you say to someone else, you're probably right, it gives your precious ego that glimmer of hope that they could possibly be wrong and you could possibly be right. And so your ego can take a breather, which is really important. Number 2 is it diffuses the situation. Rather than let that situation escalate, we have all been there where we've gotten in a ridiculous argument. It could be with a parent, or like I said, a sibling, or a good friend, or a spouse. We got in an argument over nothing, and we look back, you know, hours later, like, why did we even start that argument and waste precious moments of our life? And so when you say to someone, you know, you're probably right, it just diffuses the situation. And third, and perhaps most important, and this is what I find, is that when I believe that I'm right in a situation, but I say, in particular, to my husband, Steve, you know, you're probably right, it allows my ego to get in the back seat, to let my spirit begin driving the vehicle again, and for me to see through his eyes. And then we can come together, and I can decide if it's something important enough for us to continue to discuss. We could. Otherwise, 99% of the time, it's something just to completely let go. You know, I bring all of this up because we are in this battle in this world. I mean, I don't need to lay out all the things that we are fighting over, but our egos have such a sense of this self-righteous attitude. That's your ego, by the way, that's talking. And as long as your ego needs to be right, the planet won't advance. The consciousness of this planet will not continue to evolve to this next level of what I would call love consciousness. And we need to get there. We need to get there. And so the next time that you are in a disagreement with someone, it's much easier to do with someone that you love and that's in your circle, to say, you know, you're probably right. Because once you do that, then you can open that up to perhaps someone that you're neutral with, and then perhaps it's someone that you dislike, or perhaps it's someone that's in a completely different tribe that's not your tribe. And it's really, really good practice. I want to conclude, you know, this week I was reading out of Corinthians, and I just want to remind you of the definition of love, because we are called to love God, love ourselves, and to love our neighbors as ourselves. It is the greatest commandment. And if we start here, you know, on which to build our foundation, we simply can't go wrong. And so let me just remind you again what the definition of love is. Love endures long, it is patient, it is kind. Love is never envious. It never boils over with jealousy. It is not boastful or vainglorious. It does not display itself haughtily. Love is not conceited. It is not angry, arrogant. It is not inflated with pride. Love is not rude. It is not unmannerly. It does not act unbecomingly. Love does not insist on its own rights or its own way, for it is not self-seeking. It is not touchy. It is not fretful. It is not resentful. It takes no account of evil done to it. It pays no attention to a suffered wrong. It does not rejoice at the injustice and unrighteousness, but rejoices when right and truth prevail. And perhaps our social media channels and our cable news channels need to read Corinthians each and every day before they start their typing, their texting, their scrolling, or their broadcasting. Have a wonderful week. Remember those 3 amazing words, which are, you're probably right. Although when I say that adds 2 more. So just, you're probably right. Peace out, and I'll see you next Sunday.